The following is a presentation of MRE UNO Division 2. Hello everyone and welcome back to MRE UNO's Jazz July here with some MRE UNO After Dark here on the channel, and we have our, well, either way you put it, either our second match of the day or the first, depending on what way you want to view it, and also maybe what time zone you're in, as we kick off at midnight here for this matchup, and it's going to be a big one here. Number 3 Blake versus number 6 James, both players at 5 wins and on the bubble to try to make the D2 championship and or the playoffs. So both a big match here tonight, both looking to try to come away with the victory. We'll see who is able to get it done here, as for both it's going to be a very important match to be able to kind of get the edge over one another and move on to the round of 16. For both of them would be their I believe would be their second career round of 16 appearance, if I'm not mistaken, for both of them. So both looking for a little bit of their own history with their careers, as they both have really really strong seasons here. They're by far their best of both their careers, so looking to add a little bit more to this one as both come head to head here for a spot in the syncopated 16. So let's get into the bracket here. Only one drum match has happened so far for the TRIAD 32, and that was Rune and Emmy, which kicked off the round, and Rune was able to get the win 4-2, moves on to the syncopated 16. That is a guy who absolutely needed a good tournament here, as he came into this tournament falling outside the top 25 and being in the first 5 out. So for Rune, off to a good start here, makes it to the syncopated 16, ties his best showing of the season so far. Very much is in a spot where he could maybe find his way into the playoffs here. Keeps this good run going for the second time in his career, and would make up for missing out on the playoffs last season after a disappointing year. So we'll see if he can do that. He plays the winner of Syntax and Capital Gaming, which still does not have a time, although that will probably be late in the window. So hopefully we get that scheduled soon, but we'll let you know. Then we got updates about it when we can. But for the other two matches, Ryder and Odd gonna go at it on the 11th at 11:30 a.m. It's gonna be one of the last matches of the round. That's a match between two lower seeded players who are both fighting for their seasons. Loser will 99% be done, so gonna be looking to try and get the result there for both of them. And then for Blake and James coming up next, not necessarily a situation where loser is done for the season. Definitely would still be in the LCQ bubble battle, but definitely going to be tensing up a bit more when it comes to selection Sunday. So we're going to see who can at least ease up a little bit, get a resume boost to help them not only make the playoffs, maybe even make the D2 championship here. So hopefully it will be a good match tonight, and we got it live to you on stream here. So hopefully it should be a good one. We'll get to the table here. Gonna run solo tonight for this one. Lavina was like a 20% chance to come, but unfortunately did not get that 20% chance. So we'll just roll with that. James is not in the VC, so I have a question pre-typed for him, but gonna go to Blake here, who is the VC, to get his thoughts before the game. Blake, I mean, for you, it's been a great season for you. I mean, last season you went 0-4. This season you're already up to 5 wins, so been a massive turnaround for you. You go up against James, who's kind of been on a similar path as you, with a bit of a lackluster 2025 and 2024 by that respective, but he didn't really play that much. And now going to this season with a good showing here, made the regional finals last tournament, and you're carrying off that momentum with an opening round win so far. But going up against James, big match for you here tonight, probably the biggest of the season. Just kind of your thoughts on what this is going to mean for you going into this, and what you got to do to get the job done.
Well, I know that my opponent, James, is skilled at the game. I mean, most of us are to make it to this point, but more so considering, like you said, they've had a good run this season and they know what they have to do to win the matches, obviously, because they have won the matches. And while I have wins as well, which is good. So it should hopefully be more of an even matchup. Even as a skilled player coming up against another skilled player, you always know that it's going to be it's going to be a little bit of luck with whatever the cards give us. Ideally, when the CSM is calculated at the end of this match, it'll be even because I want a fair fight. Coming down to it, when we as evenly matched as the skill here, it'll probably come down to the cards that we're given and the chances we get to play them.
All right, thank you, Blake, for thoughts there. We'll see how this one goes for you here. But going over to James here, as I need to actually quickly tweak the scoreboard. So, forgot to do that. I will do that as we read off James' comments here. But for James, I asked him going into this one big match here as you go up against Blake, and looking to make your second round of 16 this season. Um, for James, it's been an up and down season for you so far. Now you have a chance to get the statement win and continue your push for the playoffs. What's the feeling heading into tonight and what this match means for you? And then for James, he said, though I'm not completely sure about the stakes of winning losing here, I know that Blake's a strong opponent, so if I do pull out with the win, that'll be a solid win for the resume coming into the postseason. So keeping it pretty simple here, but for James, going to be a big one for him as he looks to try and get the victory here and move on. So we'll see if he's able to do that, but we'll get things started. Brad will be our ref for this one. And Blake will have the game one call, so we'll see where he wants to start things out.
Let's start with the OG. Let's do 7.
All right, classic 7 card start here. Gonna kick things off. I'm still kind of trying to tweak the scoreboard here. That was my fault. I thought I had that set, but it did not. But we are underway with a wild start, and that is the second that is second stream in a row. We have started with a wild as the first turn, so bit of a interesting coincidence there on that one. Both gonna go for the culture draw there, so good to see that.
Very
And
good.
we'll see how we
Like
start
that.
this one off. Yeah.
Okay. What do we want to do here?
All right. Like gonna
Go
think
with the
this one
green.
through here. Yeah, I'm gonna open it with the green. As I'm almost
You
done.
you got to think. You got to think going into a wild start. Yes, you get whatever color you like. Things you have to consider whether you go into a more power focused one, the color you simply have the most cards in. It can be difficult to choose color start,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
especially
definitely.
so given he managed to get the blue turn on me.
It's definitely gonna be something you gotta consider as you kind of go through the motions. But there we go. Scoreboard updated. Apologies for that. But again, game one going underway. We go with the blue. Blake gonna have to draw there. So I mean, one for the green there. James immediately swapped out, and for Blake only had one blue. So not quite what Blake wanted, but James gonna go with the double draw also. So maybe an early draw city in the making here, early in this one. Yeah, I mean, so these the OG is technically a low tier start, so sometimes you gotta get a mix of how this goes for both. Sometimes a very quick finish, sometimes it just kind of gets stalled
Nope.
out and it gets disorganized. But this one gonna be a lot of draws. Blake gets the green one to switch though. Um, so yeah, I mean for Blake here, going back into the color that he wanted at the start. All right, double play there. Blake gonna go with the no you on the reverse. And James is actually gonna, again, after James drawing on that green, it's gonna go into the yellow.
Ditto.
Alright, first ditto of the series. So again, Blake liking the call there. So both maybe
Very
looking
good.
to run this yellow. James going to keep the yellow going. I will also mention this. I have no idea what is going on with James's current profile picture. But of course,
I
still
don't. I
playing
don't
yellow
know.
usual.
I wish I knew. Very
But
interesting profile picture is all I'll say.
yeah, his logo is still the old normal one that most people know him by. But yeah, it's a interesting change of pace for James here. I'm not sure if this is a long-term thing or if it's just something for like a bet. Anyways, big run here going into
Oof.
red.
Okay, I mean, it works.
And we'll see how long Blake can run this. Team's looking to try and close this gap here. I mean, he is one behind. I feel like Blake has held the lead for most of this game here, but ultimately, the only thing that matters is who is able to get the 0 first. But right now, both are running it down here. Blake get down to 2. Red is working out right now. James with a long type here, maybe looking for a run.
Every time
And
someone
yes,
takes a long time to type, it scares me.
yeah, that'll do it. James gets the opening win here, off a exactly 5-minute game, and has that run lined up to the end.
Of
So,
course, they had all the power cards. I had one.
all right, well, uh, James gonna get it done here, and I mean, kind of has that 4-card run to the end. So, I mean, this started off with James not being able to have too much there in drawing, but kind of found his way around it once we got out and broke from the draw city. Really ran the yellow and red well, and that's how he ends up with the victory. So, Blake, I mean, you were close there. Did you have a finish lined up, or was it just kind of a bit of a scattered hand there?
I had a 2 7s lined up, red 7 and a green 7.
Let's see.
I had a lot of duplicate numbers in there. I had 3 sets of 5s and 3 sets of 7s. Because I was hoping to get the finish on a number, which I would have been able to had if James didn't have the 3 reverse switch at the end there. If it had stayed green for maybe 1 or 2 cards longer, I might have been able to hold out, at least get a draw in before the finish. As it stands, he did get me fair and square, but the CS, I think the cards were a little bit stacked against me for that game.
Well, we'll see what James has to say here after game 1 here. A very
Wally
elementary,
does.
straightforward 5-minute game.
We'll go for a game 2 start. We'll go with. Let's see. I'll go with 12.
All right, so just the duo. All right, so James was always needing the yellow and red there. All right, so we kind of kept the plan alive.
Yes, we had yellows and red. Yes, if I had been able to stay on green, I might have had a chance there. He got me early with the switch, and that did not help.
Okay, I might as well ask this also because we were talking about it in game 1. But I am assuming it was a bet.
Things similar.
All right, anyways, we'll go to game 2 here. Um,
I'm not
so,
sure if Brad heard my call for game 2.
all right, Brad, gonna go with 12 for game 2. That's what Blake said.
Okay.
Yeah, I was about to say, I would hope it's not that. All right, well.
would be good to come in and win game 2 here.
Mm-hmm.
I think I don't know if it was the last game or the game before I came back, but I don't want that to be having to being something I have to do every time.
Well,
Mm.
Green 9 to start, not as crazy of a start here. Blake looking to try and
Don't
get
like
it done here. Alright, so Blake is gonna go for the color switch right away. Alright. Gonna keep it going on the red here. James gonna keep it going. Alright, so James with the switch, Blake with the double there. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's actually the first ammo that Blake has played all series. Didn't have anything in game one.
I
Actually,
had
wait,
one
no. Yeah,
reverse game 1
I just remembered it.
increase
Yeah,
ammo.
I just remembered that. Yeah, my bad. But
Yeah, it's
first
still very
skip.
low ammo all series.
Yeah, first skip at least though. But
Yeah,
James is out on the yellow. Blake gonna run it down. This is gonna be good for Blake here. Although he's kind of getting in a similar spot that he did in game one. So looking to close it off this time. But James is gonna get the switch into blue.
I'm gonna
There we
ditto
go.
that.
All right. Or ditto. Blue 2 off the board.
I like that. Oh, okay, just a number. No. Every time an opponent has a long type, I get nervous.
All right. Well,
Same
that
reason
long.
everyone else probably gets nervous as well.
Yep. Well, that long type did not result in anything catastrophic, at least for the time being. So, gonna
For
keep
now,
rolling on
anyway,
blue.
yeah.
Another long type.
I wonder if this is a tactic or if he's just taking a moment to talk his card out.
Who knows? Well, +2 there,
Oh,
so that is going to tie things up at 6 apiece.
okay.
Like gonna get out of blue here, goes the red. Does that help James here as well? It does not. Gonna draw. Red 1 from Blake. Again, what does James do here? James is drawing, he needs to find an option, and actually he's gonna go back into the blue. Alright, does Blake
Don't
like
think
that?
he's got much blue. Try and play a little bit smart and see what I can get out of it.
Well, there you go. You just heard it first. That's what Blake's feeling with that one there. We'll see if James can keep running blue. For now, he can.
Okay. Well, that works.
And Blake gets out of blue, goes in the green. So, that is the first time since the very beginning we've seen green. We haven't seen anyone play on green. And now we're going to get it here.
There we go. It's one of that green 7.
Yeah, there we go. Both running it low here. James had a 4-card finish in the last game. Does he have another one lined up, or will this just be a number? James taking a long time to type this one out. This could be another 4-card finish. We'll see. And it is. Wow. And gets it done with
Jeez.
the first +4 of the series. And it's going to be 2-0 James here in a similar-ish time. 5-11 there. So James able to get it done in a very similar manner as he did in game 1. With that lineup to
CSM's
him.
been very unbalanced these first 2 games.
Yeah, I mean, Blake, any just kind of immediate reactions after that one? Games 1 and 2 were kind of similar to each other, and in a lot of ways, their finish kind of game momentum, and also based off what you're saying, your hand. So, just kind of any thoughts on that going into what will be the away stand now for you?
Yeah, I mean, not too confident at the moment. I mean, I know it's just the RNG of the cards at the moment, and I'm playing pretty good to still be able to stay in it. He's getting me every time I get down to 2 or 3, and my ammo's just never been good enough to actually do anything about it either. Coming into game 3, down 2-0 on ammo heavy hands for the opponent. I'm not too sure what much I can do. I have to start considering whether to start trying to ice him out a little bit more if I get the chance, because again, no ammo. I just haven't had anything at all this game except the 1 or 2. Actually, I've had 1 reverse and 1 skip according to the statistics, and no +2s. And he's had a monumental amount of ammo and I've basically none. So I'm not happy and I'm not confident about the way the cards are going. It's nothing my skill related, so I can't really afford to lose hope. I have to keep going with my strategy, or maybe try and adapt it if it's just going to keep giving him ammo the whole series.
All right, well, um, we'll see how this goes for game 3 here. But James is going to have to call. For James wondering if the +2 stopped the run or not, I thought it was a value to use it there, so. Ends up working out here, James 2-0. I will mention also, in the prior really big playoff match 3v6 we had, or like I don't know if playoff match is the right term, but big ranked match we had, ended up being the 6th seed who won that one 4-3. So we'll see if James can make it 2 for 2 on that one, or if Blake can kind of reverse fortunes here. But not off to a great start here, but this could be an away series. We did see earlier a home series for the most part, so we'll see if we get an away series here. But James has the game 3 call, can't pick 7 or 12. And since he is not in the VC, we're going to need someone to ask him about that. Yep. Thank you. There we go. Or 7.
I thought it was only if they called that number and won on it, because both
It's
game 1 and 2 were my call.
it's 7 or 12.
Okay.
Because now it's universal across both divisions.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna go 1 up from the OG. Gonna go with 8.
I'm hoping for some ammo for this game, but I see. Mm,
All right, well, both run red here. It was a +2 start. No one jumped on it. All right, blue skip blue 8. Writing that one down. Yeah, I'm gonna keep going here. Like going back into that red though. No one has drawn yet. It's been plan A for both so far. Does the switch back in the red cause a draw though? It does. James gonna have to draw there. Does that help Blake out a little bit? It does. Uses the red to go into the green. Advantage Blake at the moment here. Where do we go into that green? That might free up James once again. Alright. And green 6, James is able to play, but it's only a number. Blake could get down to 2 or less. Blake could power play here, and I think based off how this is going, that will be game. Has the +4, gonna go with blue 7. I forgot to call Uno! Oh no. That is not what Blake wanted to see at all. Tried to go quick with it, but James was ready. Unfortunately, this game keeps going on. That is a tough break for Blake there. But that's great awareness from James there. Not necessarily giving up on the game. Being ready to open up, being ready to pounce on any mistake there, and you just saw that right there. Only had about a second and a half to pounce on that and had the right timing, so for James, gonna keep this game going. Maybe steal one. But yeah, that's a rough way for things to go for Blake there, but still has a decently sized lead. Alright, just a quick reminder there, but yeah, I mean, it's a rough one. That's a rough one for Blake there. James gonna go with the yellow here. We'll see if Blake got any yellow from the three extra cards, and he did not. Yeah, and this is kind of just something I've mentioned before. I mean, like, power play kind of helps you line up that win, but game isn't over until the stat page pulls up and it says it's over. So anything can happen. Gotta make sure you execute on the commands and whatnot there. And unfortunately, we just saw there what happened to the combination of just kind of trying to slip up, trying to leaving the door slightly open, and then just James just forcing his way through. But yeah, that's also another thing also, because this game's not over. This game is far from over now. Because, I mean, it's kind of a reset a little bit, but James still has a lot of work to do. And Blake gonna get another +4 here. Gonna go in the red, so this will bode better for him a little bit. But James kind of gets his progress reset. Alright, well, we'll see what James does here. Has the double play here, but Blake gonna get the Uno. Does get the Uno call here this time, so no call out for this one here. Might be able to escape despite the mistake. James has 9 cards, and there can be anything in those 9 cards here, so we'll see what he plays. Going to go for the switch into the yellow. Saw Blake drawing on that for a while, and he is going to draw on that again. That's going to be an ice from James. James going to keep it going in the yellow here. Blake looking for a top deck. Going to get a top deck on the yellow. Needs a color switch, though, or a number placement. James going to draw. And does get the top deck on the 3, so Blake able to escape that one. But we'll get it done nonetheless. But definitely not the way he wanted to close that one out. But yeah, Blake, I mean, I guess a few things to unravel there on that one. Just kind of any immediate thoughts after the power play going awry there, as well as just kind of the decision to go for power play there. Just kind of any thoughts on being able to get away with that one and prevent it from being 3-0 despite the error there.
I messed up my power play usage last and I was thinking, when I did it this time around, I couldn't remember if the A command still worked because of how the bot draws after, when my turn ends. I couldn't remember if I added the end play, if that would still work. Then subsequently, I also forgot about the and Uno called like the end and exclamation point I could have used. So I could have used that regardless. But I need to take away from the, I need to focus on my power play usage because that's twice now that I've messed up with it. While I may have recovered, I'm not, I'm not very happy with how that game went because I could have very easily lost that one. I got very good ammo pickups despite the power play fail. So I did come out with that one with that win, but it okay, it should have been, it was much closer than it should have been. It should have been over with that power usage. I also now go into game 4 with no power play and my opponent having one, which is always a concern. I needed to get a win on the board so that I can try and start regressing. Because if James had won that one and going into game 4 and 3 would have made things even worse for me and probably would have made a worse decision with the power play.
All right. Blake able to get away with that one. Get on the board here, 2-1. All away wins so far here. James gonna go with 9 here for game 4. We'll see if we go 4 for 4 on the away wins here. But gonna start it up on the 9. Brad will begin it. And we once again start with an ammo card in the start. It's gonna be a blue skip this time. No one jumped on the +2 in game 3. We'll see if anyone uses the skip to switch the color here. No. Alright. James gonna close it with a blue 9. And Blake will follow with a blue of his own. Alright. Both finding the blues. That's double blue 3 from Blake here. Alright, yellow 3. So James gonna go for the switch there. Gonna now run with the yellow. Blake looking to keep rolling with it. I mean, that's just kind of what Blake's doing so far. Just rolling with whatever color James wants to go with. And gonna switch it up here with a +4. Goes back in the blue. So +4 is trying to come in for Blake here. That's his 3rd of the series. James still only with 1. Blake has yet to play a +2 also. Or a wild. No wilds yet in this series. Hasn't been a single wild played yet. So we'll see when the first one of that one comes in, if at all. But Blake down to 4 cards. James back up to 9.
No one typing.
Alright. James gonna respond with a +2. Ooh, Blake gonna be out on blue here. Only had the blue 8 there and the +4. Was hoping for a quick switch and did not get it. So we'll see if James can keep going on this blue or if James will draw as well. And or switch. James gonna keep going. Alright, we gotta switch in the green. Does that free up Blake? And it will in a way here, as it's a +2, but Blake also gonna artificially close the door with a wild, the first wild of the series, and go in the red. Gonna retake the lead with that one as well. Yeah, gotta wonder what James' response with. It's gonna be a wild of his own. The wilds are coming in now. Both players with their wilds, throwing them out here. Gonna go with the yellow here. Blake does have a yellow here, but this will be James's color he is wanting. Alright. Good old numbers here. Blake has another. Blake with the position arrow lead as we speak.
My main concern now is I'm worried about when this is going to show up from James.
I mean, for both players, they're just kind of running it on numbers here for yellow. Will there be a switch, or does it just keep going yellow? Oh, there's another wild in play. That's the third wild in this game alone, as well as this series. And that green is going to force Blake to draw. That is not what he wanted to see here. James looking with the advantage here. Maybe running this down on green. And running it down on green he will, as it's double +4s there. Was wondering where the +4s were for James, and they come in a double package there, as it's going to be 3-1 now. And gets it done with a double +4. Didn't really even need the second one. But James going to make it 3-1 here. That +4 gave me, I think, 2 wilds and a +4. Wow, that is unlucky for Blake there. So yeah, I mean, for Blake went with the +4 in the blue, and ultimately James gets double +4 in the wild out of that. So that was a tough break there. But James looking to have that one wild from the start, but other than that, just seemed to be the ammo given from the draws there. And it's gonna be 3-1. So get some quick thoughts from James here, and then go to game 5.
No, this is what I was hoping to avoid.
I'll see what James' thoughts are here. Up 3-1, you mentioned winning big on the +4 mid-game, but thoughts going to game 5 was 3-1 leads, one away from the win, but also dangerously to have without we've seen many comebacks from the scoreline in the past. So, yeah, again, we'll see James' thoughts on that one, because, again, 3-1 is good, but it's also something where it's like the opponent definitely has some hope where they can kind of get back into it. But, Blake, I mean, going to game 5, this is going to be an important call for you. Just kind of, how are you feeling with this one here, as you need to win 3 straight to keep yourself in this tournament?
Not good. Hoping to avoid this. And going into this, I need to win 3 straight. But the opponent has a power play, and that's going to could be a big factor in losing any of the games. I really need to lose one more to be out of this, which means I'm gonna have to try and get a lead to see if I can at least dampen the use of the power play when it comes down to it, or ideally avoid it being used entirely. But with an opponent that I'm facing now, it is probably not how it's going to go. So if it does come to be used, I'm just going to have to hope that I'm in enough of a position to mitigate the circumstances of the power play. At the very least, not lose immediately.
All right, well, going to game 5 here, Blake, it is your call. No 8. What will the decision be? Even though I still have in PowerPoint, I know how Uno look completely flip, so I won't get comfortable even if I'm 3-1 up.
Full send, 15.
Alright, so we got the full send here. Gonna go with the blue 6 to start this one off, and we'll see how this one plays out as Blake gonna start this game off here. We'll see what he decides for the first card. Gonna be immediately switching the red, so trying to set the pace early. Alright, and the red one from James. Just gonna roll with the red for now. Alright. So I mean we started on blue, but not for long. Had to switch in the red, and both are just kind of rolling with the red as we speak. And we got a double play here from James. First ammo usage of this game. Just got a ditto there thrown into the mix. And again, we still keep it on red. This has been rolling on red for a little bit. About a minute and a half now on red. But James is out on the red. So that's the first draw here. We'll see if Blake keeps it going, or if we get a switch and or a draw. Potentially an early draw city. And Blake gonna draw, so this is gonna be an early draw city for both here. No red and no way to get out of here. Alright, well, draw city keeps on going here on this red. Both players looking for an option to get out of here. Double play from James. Will the 4 be what both players need to get things going? Yes. Blake switches in the yellow, and the game will resume here. And it's likely going to be a 3-color game now, so it's going to be interesting with how many cards both players have. Alright, well, for both. Again, it was kind of similar to what we saw on red, where they just kind of run the number, and this is going to be a similar thing we see on yellow. Alright, and we got another run on the color, and someone is drawing. It's going to be James this time. Once again, looking to have that first draw. Blake is going to be able to keep it running, though. I mean, wisely goes to that 5, which the red was stuck on that draw city for a while. James going to continue the draw here. Blake looking to keep it going, whether it's another yellow or a switch. And there's the switch. We go in the green. will free up James once again, but Blake holding on to the lead. This is a little different here because Blake now holding on to the lead possession a little bit longer at the start of this game here than in the past games. Switch the blue. So didn't even stay on the green that long. James able to play it. And for James right now, looking at the blue and green. Maybe red comes back into the mix with some of the draws. Not sure. We'll see. But Blake has been running this plan. It is not. Well, actually, no. Blake has been running this pretty well at this point. I was about to say plan A, but there was a draw city at the start, so not really. Yeah, Blake's still holding on to that lead here. James just playing the numbers. Blake looking to keep running it down here. Taking a second to type. Maybe does he have the game win here? And yes, he will have the game win. Gets it lined up there, and we'll get it done. So 5:30 on that one there. A lot of these games have been within the same time range here. So Blake able to get one on the board, keeps the series going, and able to line that finish up there with the ammo on the blue, and then the +2s going to the green. So Blake able to get it done there. But the only thing I got for you is just kind of that game was start off with the draw city on red, but ultimately we broke from that, and you were just kind of rolling since then. Did the draw city help you with that finish there? Were you able to pick up some of those ammo cards you needed to get it done, or did you have those from the start and it was just kind of a draw city where you kept getting numbers and numbers and numbers that were just kind of getting you further and further from that finish?
In all honesty, I tried something a little bit different, and I self drew that draw city on red. I caused that draw city. I had a 5 from the get go. I could have changed, but I knew if I changed it, I didn't have any linking cards to change the colors to between the colors. I managed to pick up some good number links, like the blue 2, green 2, the 5s. I had a 5 on both green on all colors actually this game. So it was really good that I drew. I didn't have the linking cards, but I could have played. So technically it's a self draw. But I also knew if I could make James draw as many as I could to try and put me ahead a little bit, I had a good card combo to come back. And then on top of all of that, when it came down to just the green and the blue, the 5 change was good. I had my plan was to go if there was a draw, or I was going to go back to the blue 5, which would have resulted in the similar stuff anyway, given that James had a green 2. But considering he gave me the 2, I fully figured if I can run down the numbers on blue, I can then combo my way over to green and get the finish without having to try and worry about Uno. And it worked out for me. And what I noticed is he tried to call me out during my combo, which is why I did the one. I did one card first, and then had the other combo copy pasted ready to go, because otherwise I knew he was probably going to call me out again. So I'm glad I did it the way I did, but also coming down to it, there was a little bit of luck having all the cards line up for me, including the numbers. That one.
All right, well, James gonna have the call here. Gonna go really low here. Gonna go with 6. So we're gonna end this one here, and not have game 7. So seen a lot of game 7s though in these stream matches. So we'll see if we get another one here. But gonna be a 6-card start, lowest of the series so far. It's gonna start with a red 7. We'll see if either player can get a monster hand here, make this a really quick one. But I mean, again, all these games so far have kind of been in that 440, 540 range. It's kind of been a very similar, very low standard deviation on how long these games have been lasting. But James gonna start off with a switch to yellow. Just Blake gonna go with crossover and blue. And I mean, again, with these low card starts, it's gonna be big with all these switches and whatnot, because every switch could be vital. It could be the difference between getting a forced stall on the other player, or even giving them the opening, get a quick run, and end it just like that. So James gonna be able to play that blue here. We'll see if Blake can keep it going. Will, and actually goes back into the yellow, which is what James switched into before. Now the question is going to be, can James play the yellow? Does James have another yellow? Yes, he does. James has another yellow here. Does Blake have another one? Yes. All right, so both are kind of just playing around each other's hands so far. But again, it's like with these low card starts, it could end at any moment, so that's the scary part. James gonna draw there. That's gonna be good for Blake. Can Blake keep it going? Yes, gets another switch into red. Really being able to capitalize on these switches here. Back on the starting color, we have not seen green yet. Is James gonna be able to play this one? He's at 4 cards. Taking a type on this one. Looking to line something up here, maybe. Again, Blake does not have power play, can't use it. Red reverse, blue reverse, gonna draw, so that's gonna be a forced switch into blue, looking for the block. And ooh, okay, gets the Uno, but made a slight error there. But this
Jesus
time
Christ, I nearly did
does
it
not
again.
get does not get punished on that one this time. But now what does James do
I
here? He just drew on the blue. Gonna have to draw again. Can Blake get it done on this one? And it's gonna be another color switch. Wow, that is a lot of number efficiency on that one for Blake there, and that's gonna be by far the shortest game of this series. We are going to another streamed game 7, so gonna all come down to
see.
this. Blake, I don't have a whole lot for you on that one. That was a pretty clean game from you. You got a lot of number switches there that were pivotal in helping getting you that win. Ends up being Plan A with how that played out, but James ultimately actually it didn't really matter there because he had the red one to finish, but just kind of any thoughts with how that one went? Because I mean, there was definitely some moments where James was taking a while to type there, and I know you've kind of been a little bit nervous with those long types so far in this
Yeah,
series.
I've been trying not to let it throw me off, but it has a little bit because he gets me with it every time. And he did have a little bit of a combo there. He had the double reverse, but he left me in a really good position. That one, I had both of them. I had to think a little bit about what I wanted to do with the 6 card start. I got really lucky. I had 2 3s, 2 1s, a start on a 7. Figured I could do the 7 into the 1, into red 1, into red 3, into yellow 3, yellow 8. But then he played an 8, which meant I could play the blue one or I could go into yellow. If I played the 1, I still had the linkage in the 2 reds, and then back onto yellow. I figured I'd try and keep him off guard a little bit because I still had another yellow I could, and I did because I was able to play the 3, and then he drew, and that really helped me, which meant I was able to go back onto red. And he had the 2 reverses, but either way, if I had gone onto red or onto blue, he only had the reverses and he drew, which I think I think I played well, but I also played a little bit confusing. That if I had let the nerves get the better of me from the 2 reverses, I might have stuffed up and drew by accident. Like I kept a good finish. And now game 7, we're going into game 7, and he still has the power play. And the power play is again like luck in that if he's close enough, but also in if I can block him from using it at an effective time compared to me making mistakes, because I made another mistake of I nearly stuffed up that Uno call. I got lucky that James wasn't watching and that I actually called on to my mistake immediately. But I have the game 7 call, which makes this even worse because now I'm not quite sure what call I want yet. I have to think about it for a second as to whether I want to go a low or a high. It's gonna it's gonna be difficult either way, and I'm not really sure what I want to do yet.
All right, well, Blake, you do have the call for Game 7 here. For James, his thoughts going into the final game, though, definitely feeling a bit nervous, but he's not sure if he's got anything else to say here. So, this is it. Going to be the final game of the series. Winner moves on to the single pay to 16 and makes their second career round of 16 appearance. So we'll see what Blake decides to start things off with in the final game. Cannot pick the full send, nor 6 cards or 8 cards. So,
We'll go 10.
all right, straight down the middle. Yeah, again, I mean, Blake was questioning whether or not to go high or low, and he's gonna just split the difference and go in the middle here. Game 7 to decide it all, and I think that is the third straight. That's the third. All three streams for the round 32 have all been Game 7, so got a bit of a streak going here, and we're gonna start with a blue 7 here to start. And James still has his power play in his pocket, so it's gonna be something to keep an eye out for. But for Blake, looking to try and do what he can to make that not matter and get it done here. And it's gonna have a double play to start this out and make a little bit of separation early on. All right. Going to keep it on blue for start. We've had a few games where we had the switch right off the bat, but this one going to stay with the starting color for now. This Blake already down to 7 relatively quickly. And blue 9 from James, so just going to kind of keep things going here. All right, so yeah, a lot of blue for both players on the start here. Blake with 4 blues in a row. James could be 3 here. But James only played 2 cards so far, so maybe not as much. Alright, well, no, it's actually going to be a double play from James, so that's 4 blues for both players on the starting hand, but they're going to take advantage of that 4 to switch in the red. And both able to play it. This is still plan A for both. Both are down to 5 cards. Blake gets down to 4. Can James follow? No, James is out on red. Advantage Blake at the moment. Still running it down here, still on the plan A. Can Blake get it done? Haven't really seen too much ammo from him yet. Could it come later on? Or is this a mostly numbers hand? He's looking to run it on pure attrition. James with a switch in the green. Does that hurt Blake? It does not. Keeps going. Plays the green 1. Down to 2. James at 5. Does power play potentially come out here? Whether it be a finish or maybe a block. It's kind of tough to read what Blake has here. And there's going to be a +2 from James. And then James is going to take the lead. 4-3. Blake looking to keep it running down, though. Both are now low. This is looking to be a very quick game here. Blake with the green 7. James is out, though. Can Blake get back down to 2? He does. Gets back down to 2 here, but is green going to be the solution to finish this one off? James drawing on this green here. Going to need to find something. Let's see what James does here. Hasn't had any green. Needs either a switch or a top deck to be able to play something. Otherwise it's going to be a draw. Or a 5. The 5 could also work too. James going to power play. And yeah, this is going to be defensive. This is what we was talking about earlier. I mean, this could come out, and James is going to like to go for the defense here. Doesn't seem to have much. And it's going to be a double draw there, and for Blake, going to have to draw there as well. So, may have been a situation where didn't even need to use it, unless it was a +4 and then it was a color split. I mean, if it was something like that, then that maybe forced Blake to draw there. So we'll have to see. Or kick myself if I went out with power play for a third 20 in a row. And yeah, I mean, James mentioning that kind of had the power play in his pocket when he went out in the last 2 tournaments here. So if this ends up as a loss, it will not be 3 in a row here. But yeah, no one with any green left, so this is going to be a draw city. That's going to reset things a little bit. Could be a situation where we had our shortest game in game 6. Could we get our longest game in game 7? We're about a little over a minute until we get there. But we'll see. It's 1 a.m. now in Eastern, so running late here. Probably will go to sleep after this match ends, but that 4 is going to be the break both need as we go to blue, and now both are underway once again. But Blake with a bigger lead here, only has 4 cards left. James double with 8. Alright, James with the switch to yellow. Another draw from Blake, so that's not what Blake wanted. Didn't want to see that yellow. Can James keep it going here? It's the all-9 again. He used the power play, so no one has any power plays. This is going to be clean from the remainder of this series. The way this finishes out is going to be a clean finish. James still running this yellow here, but that 8's going to be an option that Blake needs to switch it into red. Both are at 5 cards. Red 4 from James. Now going to be a red 6, so for both, it's going to be a run down to the finish here. James calls for game here. Does he have it? And can he finish it as well? And it's going to be a 4-card chain to the end, just how we started this series. And James is going to hold on and get the win in what is, yes, indeed, the longest game of the series. Clocking in at just about 6 minutes, a little over 6 minutes here. And James going to come back from 3-1 down, get the job done, and move on to the single page of 16. So good stuff to no wait. No, Blake was down 3-1, I forgot. James gonna prevent the 3-1 comeback, my mistake. But James I can hold on and move on here as he gets it done in a very close match there. Blake unfortunately coming a little bit short there. Since Blake's in the BC, I'll ask him first as I'm asking James's post game comments here. But I mean Blake, I mean it was a good effort there. Was able to bring it to game 7, but unfortunately got down to 2. Power play happened there, and then game reset, and unfortunately the reset ended up favoring James there. So just, I mean, any thoughts on that series? Were you close to the end there when James went for the power play? And just kind of any final thoughts here as you now kind of sit in a spot where you're waiting your fate here for the playoffs?
At the number switch when he did it. I could have won, but he did it. He power played and he won it. I did figure he would. He power played when it mattered. I couldn't get far enough away for it to not. I didn't end up having the ammo I wanted. Able to come back to that. And while it may have evened out the ammo compared to how the first 2 games went, he did have more in the end, and it got him the win. All things considered, I think I did okay to come back, but it wasn't enough to get the win here. And now, whether I go on to playoffs or LCQ or anything like that, comes down entirely to the hands of other players. I just have to hope that I can make it into that. It's definitely been my best season so far, but would definitely have liked to get further and just definitely confirm an LCQ spot. It is a balance now. Could get lucky and get in, or I could end up just being a referee until next season, which it's a little while until the next season starts up now, given we're only in July right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I will hold out hope. Given I did make it to round of 32, I did get first regional finals, which I am very happy with that. I do wish I could have gotten a little bit better. Before even would have been nice this season, but definitely better overall. And I mean, I'll be watching the games closely to see if it changes or not. And it seems like the predictions went against me as well, because I was looking at predictions earlier, and the majority of the people were predicting that I would win in a 4-3. For one, it did not come to fruition, unfortunately. So, see, GG's to James though. He did play well, and it got him the win in the end.
All right, well, thank you, Blake. We'll see what happens for the postseason. Good effort here in this match. Unfortunately, a little bit short here in this one, but James typing it up. We'll see what he has to say here, and then we'll take a look at the updated bracket here. So we keep this TRIAD 32 moving, but yeah, what a good game this ended up being. We've been really hitting the jackpot on a lot of these stream games so far, so that's been a great sign to see a lot of great action here as the regular season's beginning to wrap up. But a lot of players with a lot of hopes here in these matchups, doing everything they can to better their chances of being in that playoff field, whether it be the D2 Championship or the LCQ. So we'll see how this one shakes out, but James gonna get the win. It's gonna be both 6 seeds in the rank v rank matchups getting the win here. So for James, we'll play the winner of Odd and Ryder, which will be a wild card game. So we'll see who wins that one. Well, either player could really play spoiler for the playoff picture, so we'll see how that goes. But other than that, Drums region seems to be the one where there's going to be a lot of chaos here, because we have Rune in the single pay 16, and now we have James here, and that's a lot of players who are fighting for playoff spots here. And then we also have Syntax and Captain Gaming, who are also in the playoff mix. Syntax in a good spot to maybe make the D2 Championship outright. Captain Gaming looking to be one of those players fighting to make it into the playoffs. And then for Ryder and Odd, from on the way outside the bubble, we'll absolutely need to win this one there. But yeah, let's call him VC for stream. We'll make it the LCQ. GG, so we'll make it LCQ for next season, right? So Blake can make his last comments here. James still typing it up. But with that, we'll go into the updated bracket here. James moving on, winning in 4-3. Gets it done. Again, he'll play the winner of Ryder and Odd, and then on the top half of the bracket, Syntax and Captain Gaming, TBD on when that will happen. Hopefully we'll get an answer soon though, because we don't want that to be a DQ. But we'll see what happens. If it is a DQ, it will probably be Syntax moving on, but we'll see. Yeah, again, we'll just kind of wait for James to give his final thoughts here before we close up the stream. But do have Brad here, who refed our game, so I want to thank him for refing. I mean, Brad, I don't know if you want to give any final thoughts on the game that you saw, but if you want to, you're more than welcome. All right. Well, we got some comments here from James here, so we'll read it out. This win means a lot. This win means a lot to me, as I know Blake is a strong competitor, so this will sure help me resume whatever the postseason rolls around. Having another run past around 32 after tournament 2 shows that tournament 2 wasn't a complete fluke, as I played well with the ammo here, with the exception of I think Red 5 where I had Red 5 where I called 6 to change the colors, and I had a +4 that went unused. I think this is the first time I used power play defensively, which was cool. Very glad I didn't leave that in my pocket. For James, hoping to see Blake around, and we'll be pushing him the best into the postseason. But all right, well that will do it. So thank you all for watching the stream. Blake would hope so. Yeah, so a whole conversation after the game ends. But thank you all for watching the stream. I don't know if Brad wants to leave any comments after I do see him typing, so I might leave some thoughts. But no, okay, just gonna close the game. All right. Thank you all for watching the stream. I'm gonna go to bed. It is late for me, but until then, we will see you tomorrow at 5 p.m. for the last stream, which will be Sky and Steven. But until then, on behalf of the MRE UNO team, including myself, my referee Brad, both our players, and everyone came out to watch. Thank you so much for watching the stream. Congrats to James on the victory. He moves on to the syncopated 16. We will see you tomorrow for the final stream, getting at the TRIAD 32. But until then, I'm G-Man, and have a great night.